Hi guys, it's Destiny. So I did my project on the history of black males being falsely accused in America. So my first case was of Emmett Till. So Emmett Till was a black boy who was murdered by two white adult men on August 28th, 1955. He was only 14 years old when he died, and as you can see in the article clip, his body was found floating in a river. So he was his murder was pretty gruesome. Um, but it led to him becoming a key face of the civil rights movement, and it also resulted in the advancement of the civil rights movement as well. Um, so this article, it's a New York Times article, the first one. Well, they're both New York Times articles, but the first one but only focuses briefly on the case of Emmett Till, and then the rest of it, the majority of it, is about um, a rabbi's opinion of the Supreme Court's ruling to desegregate public schools. Um, and it was a positive religious opinion, but that could be a seemingly biased aspect of the article. And then the second clip I decided to include because I thought it was important. It's a um, part that it's a record of the wife's testimony of the defendant who one of the guys who killed Emmett Till. And this woman is the woman who actually accused him. So I just thought this was important to include in this slide. So the second article that I did was from the Chicago Defender. And this article talks about how his murder occurred at a time where there was a lot of white outrage over the Supreme Court's ruling to desegregate public schools the year prior. As you can see from this article, it says that the white people gathered together to form groups that actively worked to against the integration of races. They were actively against it. Um, and I think that this article could be viewed as biased just because it doesn't use words such as alleged or suspect when it comes to referring to Emmett Till's killers. Um, yeah. So all in all, I guess both of the first two articles, the historical articles, were similar just because they both focused on the Emmett Till case and they weren't necessarily, in my opinion, overtly biased, which was a surprise to me, but I don't think that they were. So those are some of this. They also had similar like language styles in the way that they were being written. So yeah. So I thought this was important to include in there. This isn't my designated current article, but this article just talks about how Emmett Till's accuser basically came forth and said that she lied. She falsely accused him, and this was in 2017, so it was over 6 decades after his murder. So my current article that I chose is about how another black woman was falsely accused by a white woman. This took place in 2018, and this little boy was only 9 years old. His name was Jeremiah Harvey, and um, basically he was falsely accused of groping a white woman in a corner store, and the security cameras at the corner store showed that he didn't do it. But this article related to the other two articles because they were both little black boys being falsely accused by white women of things they didn't do, obviously. And if you take a look at this last clip right here from this article, which you probably can't see anymore, but this clip is similar to the Chicago Defender article because in the Chicago Defender article it talks about how Emmett Till's murder was uh, basically involved in a string of murders that happened after public schools were desegregated, and then this line in this article states that this accusation was the latest in a string of incidents where white women specifically, were falsely accusing black people um, of things. So all in all, I think all of the articles, I don't think any of them were necessarily biased or overtly biased. They just recounted, especially this one, just recounted this incident and the woman's apology, which the little boy didn't accept. And then the first two articles, like I said before, weren't overtly biased, in my opinion. Some of the language was obviously different than the way we speak today because it was the 1950s. But yeah, like I said, I don't think that they necessarily were for or against, or showed that they were for or against one side um, of the issue. So, and then these are my sources.